Man United 2, Brad. Sunderland 0. About time. Clean sheet. About time. A win. About time. Just do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's what it was today. Very good.
Yeah, a win's a win. We needed it. It was. We need a confidence boost going into Anfield because that's not going to be an easy game. First half was good. Second half was a bit sloppy. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the result and performance.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the individuals because first half was where it was all at. Obviously, we went 2-0 up. Individuals, who stood out for you today? We got a debutant in goal. Mason Mount was starting. There's a lot of attackers there. Who stood out?
Cesco. I think Cesco was really good. I think he looks a bit sloppy in the first 10 minutes, but I think once he grew into the game, I think his link-up play was really good. He's fantastic in the air. And Senny Lomans in goal, I think what I liked about the new goalkeeper today is he spotted what Cesco's strengths were, which is aerially, and we went along with a plan. So it was actually really good to see Cesco play that well.
Yeah, for him, I mean, listen, it's been a struggle. It's going to take him a while. He wasn't starting in the first few games. He gets a goal last week, even though it was in a poor performance, but for him, that's a good one. But you could see today, innit, like once he scored his goal, you know, the studs are starting to be on top of the ball. You're just rolling the ball off. You're setting people. You get a feel for the game, and he just looked a lot more confident, didn't he?
And that's at his base level. I think once he's in a cohesive team that's actually completely playing to his strengths in terms of the outfield players, getting down the wing and putting a cross in, I think we're going to see a really good young centre forward at our football club.
Yeah, I did like his performance. I really and for his confidence, we know we're going to need him to be in that kind of mindset. Mason Mount today. I mean, look, the fact that he started instead of Mateus Cunha before the game, some people will say, well, that's an interesting decision, but a very, very good goal from him. And in general, I know he didn't finish the whole game, but he didn't have a period where it was sloppy. And for his whole game he was on, he was brilliant.
He was actually good. I think he was actually quite unlucky to go off, if I'm being honest. So it was actually a good performance from him, and hopefully he can keep it up, and hopefully he can stay fit. That's the key thing.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why he did come off. Because, you know, like, you just don't want to keep playing him 90 minutes or anything like that just before the winter break. He's come back off that hamstring injury he had or whatever knock he had. But he took his goal really well, didn't he? And Brumo finds him, left foot to control, right foot, bottom corner, and that set us off.
100%. I thought Inbu was good in the first half, a bit sloppy in the second half. But you can see the quality he has, especially on the half turn. I think we were saying it when we was watching the game together. When he gets the ball on the half turn, he's so strong on the turn, and he's quick, and he either finds a teammate or draws in a foul, and it's a really good quality to have.
Yeah, and it is. And if you're looking at sort of someone you can rely upon to be involved, you might not always have the end product, but you know, you go back to Burnley, he gets the goal. I know it was dreadful at City, but he has a shot on target. He does the only decent thing that we did, which was a shocking day out. Against Brentford, he wins the penalty, which should lead to Nathan Collins being taken off. Here today, he gets an assist. Like he is always involved in what we're doing, and that's why he's playing so much, isn't it?
100%. And I think also, if we start playing as a cohesive team and actually start playing well, I think we're going to see an even better Inbu. I think we're going to see the Brentford Inbu where he's just going to fly high and score loads of goals, because you can clearly see the quality he has.
It's just about getting the consistency from him. Ahmad, back in the team today. Listen, he had a family bereavement, had to go home and take care of business with his family after losing a family member, but back into the team today, and you talk about that first half, he was a breath of fresh air as well, giving Arthur Masuaku nightmares.
Best performance this season. He's not looked great this season, but class is permanent, form is temporary. We've always known Ahmad is a top player, and he was showing it today. And also, we don't know what's happened with him behind the scenes, because obviously he lost a family member last week. So, and it could have been something before that, so it could have affected his performances. So,
that's true.
Really happy for him to have a good performance today. And
what does he bring, and why is it important for? Well, listen, we'll talk about Dallo in a second. He went to left wing back, and obviously Ahmad coming in at right wing back. But what does that give us? What does that bring? Why is that important?
Well, when we played defenders there, we always look like we've got less numbers in attack, and that's by design when you've got defenders in there, because subconsciously, because they're a defender, they're going to think about going, what's happening at the other end. So we've got less players in attack, but when you've got a player like Ahmad, who's a winger at first, it's an extra man in the attack. So I think when we get into like January or the summer, if we are going to stick with Ruben Amorim and stick with this formation, I think we've got to go and get a left wing back, because Dalot on the other side, it doesn't work because he's a defender, so he's playing out of position really when we're going forward. Defensively, he's a bit suspect. He's not the worst, but he's not the best. But going forward, he's not good.
Yeah, and then Dorgu obviously is young. He's got levels to go up, but when he has the ball in the attacking areas, you're not always comfortable as well that he's going to find the quality.
He's not great either going forward, if we're being honest. I think his ball carrying's pretty decent.
Yes,
I think
he's powerful. Yeah.
I think he's good at drawing in fouls, but you don't want him or Dalot being the highest player on the pitch when we're attacking, because the output isn't great.
Yeah, you touched on it at the beginning about Sonny Lommans, his debut today. How important is it to have that calming influence? Obviously, there's a long way to go. There's better teams to play, etc. But we can only talk about what we just saw at first glance. And what did you make of his performance today?
Well, it's important that he had a solid first game, because if you make a mistake, you know what it's like. The crowd get on top of him, and then it can drown you almost. So to have a solid debut was really good, and he's shown really good goalkeeping fundamentals, which we haven't seen in goal for the last 2 or 3 years. So it actually gave the team outfield players a lot of confidence, but it also gave the fans a lot of confidence.
You can feel it in the stadium, innit? Like when he's going to claim some crosses, we're like, oh, can he do that? He can. Wow, this is what it's like. And it is goalkeeping basics, but it's so good that we saw him do it in his first game.
When we had the first corner of the match, because we didn't know what he was going to be like, a lot of the fans were quite nervous.
Yeah.
Then as soon as he got up and catched the ball, it actually gave a lot of confidence to the crowd that we've actually got a goalkeeper that's going to be commanded in his box. Like, as a goalkeeper, a lot of it's psychological, because if you can make yourself big and do the right things and come out for crosses and put the other players under pressure, it can be really good psychologically up against the other players, because if they know there's a top goalkeeper in the net, they have to find the corners, so then it puts more pressure on the other forward. So
yeah, and it can drain the confidence out of other teams, can it? Lastly, look, all of this going into this international break was, if Ruben loses, can't lose against Sunderland, all this. Is this the type of performance that's needed to start going the other way?
100%. I still think he needs to go. However, if we're talking about this game, it's good to get a win. Solid performance. I think there was some sloppy parts to it in the second half. The first half was good overall, and it's just a much needed win. Of course, Anfield's going to be a different test altogether. We don't have a good record there, so let's see.
Nice one, bros. Quality.